You thought you said 5 minutes. You give me 5 minutes back.
Oh,
That's
that's
dishonor, you know?
that's Yusuf L down in Atlanta. That was on his high frequency radio show.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, that
okay.
was his podcast I was on.
Chief, I was listening to the video there, man, and it's like I went and I have my UCC that we did. And I was like, yo, I started reading the documents, man, and yo, these are some powerful documents, man. The SF 181 have a lot of power behind it because when those people arrest me, they had me down as black. And I did not give them no driver's license. I did not give them anything because, sometimes we're looking for remedies, but we're all over the place. Sometimes you're at a safe place, but you don't know that it's a safe place, and you're jumping from limb to limb, and you end up in situation because if I had stick with what I was doing with you all the time, I wouldn't have been in the situation that I'm in today. So, I mean, you see, my whole family is in, I ain't got my wife no more. I ain't got my daughter. I mean, I have my daughter still, but, they moved down to Georgia. So I don't want to use the word trying. I just want to get myself back on track and do best that I can, man, because a lot of people still using the corporate name. And based on the statutory declaration that I did with you, and I read it, I said, well, hey, I don't have to use Conrad Romano Dason because based on this document, it states inside of it what took place, when you came into this world with your mother and you are Nasi and L such and such. You have the paperwork to show. I sent off the documents, but one thing I think I did not do, I did not send it to all the places that, you give us because I thought that when you send it out to a certain place and you put the CC, I didn't even know what CC meant. You know what I'm saying? Because I could say I was very dumbfounded to those things. I didn't really know what I was doing. So I'm planning now to send out these things here to all of the people that I did not send it to, along with the green card that I get back from the IRS and the Social Security. I plan to package up everything and just mail it off to all of these people. So Chief man, I'm here, man. If I could get back on board with whatever, because I just want to learn this thing effectively, because I haven't gone behind an automobile since the last time I get arrested, which was in March, and they have a warrant out for the name for $23. So I don't know what's really going on, man. But I know that
Give
these
them the
documents I should send
ransom.
these
Give
documents.
$23. Give them the ransom.
Okay, so and that's the next thing is $23. So I could just call the court and tell them, well, I accept I accept for value, and I'm gonna pay. I don't want to use the word
I
pay.
don't know what your whole thing entails. All I can say is if it's an outstanding debt of $23, just pay it and that's it.
Well, I'm going to the chief.
It's
I
not
see.
worth
Here,
it's not worth that if it's
mm,
$23. It's $23.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
uh, a couple of friends came together to my aid because the guy take one look at me, and even though I said, listen, I did not consent to any of your proceedings. It's not a threat, duress, and coercion. These people didn't want to hear none. They didn't want to see anything. So you know what I'm going to do, Chief? So the petty bill for me was 25,000, right? And I can't pay them back because I ain't got no job. You know what I mean? But what happened is that one of the brothers went online and he saw that they revoke the $25,000. They revoke it. So I don't know what's
Do
going on with
you
that,
have a
but they
copy
revoked
of
the
that?
25. No, I could get a copy for you.
No,
Get a
no,
copy
you
for you.
didn't hear what I said. Right? Do you see
If
how
I have
you
a
just
copy of it,
skipped did you see how you just skipped over what I just said? You're telling me something. I said, "Do you have a copy?" And you skipped over yourself and said, "I
no,
could get
that's
a
fine.
copy
I
for
don't.
you."
No, Chief, I don't. I don't have a.
You
I don't
don't
have it, but
know.
I cite.
So you don't
I
know.
cite on. Okay.
No,
I
listen.
cite online. They show it to me. But go ahead, Chief. I'm
You got a
listening.
print out of it?
I didn't print it out. I just look at it. They just show it to me. I just look
Who's
at it.
they? Who's the they you talking about?
The sister who she showed it to me. She said, look. She said, look. They revoked the money. She said,
Who is the
come and show you
sister?
something.
I don't know who this sister is. You
Her
gotta
name.
start being precise with me because I don't know who you talking about.
Her name is Debbie. She's from Trinidad.
So she's seeing on what? What is she looking at on what computer? Where? What are you talking about?
I think she have access to get into the database. I could get the information and
Database for what?
I will
Database for what?
for Pennsylvania court.
Okay, see, you see how you're not saying that? I have to be pulling teeth to ask you. Like, I don't know what you've been going through. I don't know anything. So
Yeah, I understand,
I'm
Chief.
trying to piece all this together. You trying to offload stuff onto me, and I'm saying, well, what's
Mm.
this? Who's this? Who's that? And you giving me vague answers.
Okay,
This
yeah,
is
Chief.
why you got into it. That's probably why you got into issue because instead of conferring with myself, you could have
Uh-huh.
avoided that. So whatever it is, if it's for $23,
Mm.
you have to have a printout. Seeing that on
Okay.
a computer and keeping it to yourself, this is why people are running into problems because they don't keep no damn evidence.
You're 100% correct. And they're
No, I'm a
going to and
thousand
they
percent correct. I've been doing
yeah,
this
and they
long
could go
enough.
in the
They don't have
system.
no evidence. They don't got no facts. They got no contracts. They got no documents. But they want to talk to people and tell people the problem. Say, hey, this is what happened to me, and what do I do? Or this ain't right. And it's like, well, I don't know what contracts were signed. I don't know who you signed contracts with. When you state stuff, if you don't have a copy for yourself, I don't have to accept anything you're saying.
Chief, and you're 100%, and that's why you're so profound, man. Because when you were speaking, man, listen, I gotta revisit all of your videos, man, because your videos having a lot of information. Because I was like, damn, sovereign. People walking around calling themselves sovereign. I mean, I listened and I said, damn, I don't want to be. If that's the case, I don't want to be sovereign. I'm indigenous. Chief, you're awesome, man. The knowledge that you have, man, is like the creator give you a special dose of that,
Well, I'm grateful for
You get,
that.
the chief is just amazing, man. So I just want to thank you, man. But a guy contact me. He's an elder. He's 60, 62, 63. And he's from, I don't know if they have different Yamisi. The only Yamisi that I know of is you. And he asked me to make him a Yamisi ID, He didn't ask me to make him a Yamisi. He asked me to renew the ID that he have, So he had a Yamisi ID and he asked me to make because the one that he was old, looking a little messed up, So I said,
So
well, I wonder
why
if,
didn't he go to where he got it done from?
I mean, to be honest with you, I can't answer that question, but he's an elder, so I just want to find out from you, Chief, if we have any IDs for ourselves, and I'd asked you previously if you could please, if you get a chance, if you could send me a copy of the certificate, maybe I could print it out because I remember during I won't really say the issue, but I've been through some stuff, storage here, there, and everywhere. And
Again, I don't know what stuff you've been through. I don't know what contracts you've signed. I don't know what you have said. I
no,
don't know any of that.
I
The
ain't
only
signed a
thing
contract, Chief. I asked you.
hold on.
I asked you
Hold
before
on, I'm
that after
speaking,
the break.
please. Hold on, I'm speaking, please.
Yeah,
So
go
the
ahead,
thing
Chief.
is, if you go on to what is it? Indigenous Standing Process on Facebook. There's a certificate page. There's about 120. Yours might be on that because Facebook capped me at 120 images, which was funny. And if you go on Indigenous Standing Process certificates on YouTube, you'll have to go through there and see if yours is in there. Yours might be in that batch of 120. And then
Okay, so let me
you
write
might
it
be
down.
able to get it
Indigenous
from there.
Standing Certificate Process. Okay.
No, Indigenous Standing Process certificate.
Okay. Okay, Chief. I'm gonna check it out, man, because I really.
So see if
So,
that's
Chief,
there. Like anything you're requesting from me, you're gonna have to write an email to me and tell me and explain, and I'll go through the email. But I'm not gonna take your statements over the phone like this, especially when I don't know what's going on.
That's Chief, and I take that with honor and consideration. I hope I said it correctly. Yeah? Accept it.
You don't. You're not. You can't negotiate that. This is not an. You can accept that under consideration. The thing is, you called me. I didn't call you.
Yeah.
So in that capacity, and then you're asking me to provide you with something. I'm like, what are you wrapped up in? So you got to explain that to me. So again, you're trying to negotiate something and get something from me when I don't know what's going on with you aside from what you've told me. So that has to be disclosed. That's my decision.
I got you,
make
Chief.
the decision.
I got you.
But in the interim, I appreciate the compliments. However, we told people this is a new skill set. And people didn't want to listen. Some of them were impatient. Some of them just felt that, okay, I got all the paper, I could handle it, I could do it myself. Then when they run into the real problems with these real shape-shifting reptilians out here, they fold. They tap out. They concede. They go back and run back to the matrix. I'm the only one that's sitting there that's staying consistent in what I've done, and I'm telling people, you want to get to that promised land or that freedom or that acknowledgement of being white and indigenous. I said, you got to come through me, number one. Number two, you have to live it. So if you're not going to live it, it's going to show. They're not going to take you serious. No matter how much paperwork no matter how much paperwork you have, if you're not living it, I'll give you a good example. Remember, Polite, right? Polite.
Yeah, not Polite.
Okay. Yeah. So he's somewhere in Florida in jail, or he might be getting out in a year or a couple years or whatever, right? So you remember that situation, he got in trouble, right?
Yeah.
Now, I saw the arraignment, and the judge rather, asked him, is Michael Nowak there? And he said, yes, Your Honor. When I heard that, I was like, what? Then they said, is this your date of birth? Then he confirmed that. Then what else? He had an attorney. I said, wow, this was the guy selling all these UCC packages and stuff in New York. And then when he got caught up in that situation with that young girl in the hotel in Miami, he turns around, hires a lawyer, says, yes, Your Honor. I said, oh, so that means he didn't believe none of that stuff he was selling. It was a product that he could sell. But when it came time for him to stand on that, I saw the arraignment. And see, what's strange about that, I always kept saying he was an agent because after that happened, after that arraignment, the case made the news, and then all of a sudden you ain't hear nothing no more. They killed the whole... Wow. I said, hold on, well, you guys put it on the news. So what happened? And they didn't even say whether he was found guilty, but I ended up finding that out anyway. And then a word I heard was the guys in jail was asking, hey, ain't you that guy from on the TV? And he was trying to deny that it was him in the jail.
Wow.
See, these are the type of things that I get this stuff. So I said, anybody who's advocating, regardless of what it is, whether I agree with it or not, then you got to live that, because that's what you put out there, that you're living this, you're advocating for this. So he was selling those packages. People used to complain to me. I know other people in New York were complaining about him, ripping him off. And I was like, how you giving this guy $5,000 like nothing? I'm like, how the fuck you giving this guy? I'm like, what's the matter with y'all? One woman gave him $5,000 twice.
Wow.
Then she came to me and I showed her how to fix some stuff up. Then she couldn't believe it. I'm like, man, how are you all not questioning these people? And that's the thing. Nuwapu, sound right reasoning. People want to have somebody that is charismatic. They want to have somebody to even lie to them. They want to have somebody who gives a good time, that is, a nice, warm, fuzzy feeling to make them feel good, but doesn't prepare them for the realities of what's out here. I've told people, yes, this is what it is. When everything's running right, yes, you're great to be white. However, there's going to be times when you're going to get tested. And I told people, nobody's exempt from that. I'm dealing with that right now with the nonsense that Nicole's done.
Wow.
She went and abducted the She went and abducted the children, and so now I got to deal with that. And now it's all coming out that all it was it was about money. That's the only reason it was about money. And because she couldn't get it and wasn't entitled to it, she got mad, flipped her lid, and took off with the children, abducted the children.
Wow.
And so
I just listening to this, give me chills, man, because I look to you, man. You're a good brother, man. This is some bullshit, man.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
And like I said, I've informed the courts already that this is not domestic. This is international. There's a statute on civil international child abduction. So they know about this. I got the U.S. Department of State. They just emailed me today. I spoke with them about a month ago. The children are on a program, so she can't cross the border with the children into the United States. She don't even have a passport for the U.S., much less. So she's got a problem. She got to wait till November because they're not doing anything come November. So I just emailed. I filed suit. Now she's in Calgary, which is 3 hours away, and she has to come to court next week. So, like I said, I stand on my position on what I taught you all. People can see that.
Yep.
Now, the people who came and I taught, some of them have gone back into wanting to reassimilate. I said, yeah, you could go plug back into the matrix, but all that information from me, that's already there in you.
So people will be foolish, Chief. That's foolish. And hearing this, man, is very disturbing to me because knowing the knowledge that you have, and the funny shit is about it too. You teach all of us, and you even teach this woman. You see, money does make people create a lot of issues. This is some bullshit, man. I don't believe this, man. But,
the thing is, it was meant to happen. Like what a lot of people don't know is, I was already entering data into the Chat GPT for months. I even had it do a behavioral analysis of her. And I gave that to everybody in the nation. So everyone in the nation can see the behavioral analysis based on the data that I was inputting. She was upset about it. And I said, well, what is it? Well, the things you're posting on the internet. I said, what? I post a lot of stuff on the internet. What is it you're making reference to? Can't tell me. I knew what it was, but I want to see, are you going to say what it is?
Right.
And I knew exactly she's being vague. Well, the things you post. I said, I post a lot of stuff. I said, that's not Nuwapu. You talking all this vague stuff. What is it that you have an issue? They said, we've been doing this. Before I met you, I was doing this. So why are you acting like I just all of a sudden one day decided to start putting stuff up on the internet? I've been doing this since 2007.
Wow.
I've been publishing on public officials. Been doing that. Been doing it. Ain't nothing new. But the thing was, her behavior analysis came up. So, again, people who advocate what they advocate for have to lead by example.
You're right.
People who say they follow whomever have to follow that example. And when people are saying, that they are they're with somebody, I'm with him, right? Then that's a contract. They're bound by the terms and conditions of the contract, and they have to conduct themselves accordingly, because this is who they say they're following. Now, if they deviate from that with no valid reason, that means that person was not genuine. So I've told a lot of people that, some people like you're upset. There's a lot of people that was upset, and I had to tell them, I said, listen, I'm in the center, and I'm being at peace with it. And people like what? I said, hold on. I had to tell people. They was like what? I said, listen, you got to understand something. This is what Ra Unifir was teaching in the Metu Netter. to get to the state of Amun, you have to be at peace with what is surrounding you, what is happening in your environment. And the connect to that is the book, The Power of Now. In there it says, it talks about resistance. And one of the things that it says is you have to accept what is. It happened. You cannot resist what is. You have to accept what is. If you resist what is, then there's that energy of resistance. You're not accepting the circumstance. Then by you resisting, then there becomes what? You can't go forward because, you're refusing to acknowledge this happened, it occurred, accept it. Once you do that, that's similar to the acceptance for value that I teach everyone from the Gene Keating, because the principle deals with electricity, deals with energy. So somebody gives you negativity, you can give it back to them. Whether you say acceptance, whether you hand it back to them in a similar fashion or what have you, but the point of the matter is you're not going to let that change your inner peace. That's the point. That's why anyone who's fighting, the real fighters are calm. The ones who are all emotional, those are the ones that, they said, the old saying was, I learned this from a guy from Mississippi years ago. He said, don't be afraid about the one yelling and making noise. Don't worry about him. You got to worry about the guy who's calm and quiet, because you don't know what he's going to do.
You're so right, Chief. You're so right, man. As you said that, you remind me of a sister. And she said to me, I don't agree with everything that she says, but she's a very intelligent woman. She used to be in the class too. But now she said, listen, man, she said, Nasi, I keep telling you, man, everything is about energy. It's about frequency. You need to let go of this and let go of that. All of this paperwork where you're doing, She said, listen, you got to accept things for what it is. If you don't accept and you're fighting against it, I was like, wow. But, Chief, I was finding it hard to wrap my head around that, because the way I look at it, paper is what they use to put you in the position, and it's paper what you got to use to take you back out. But I guess some people have a stronger resistance to certain things, So when she tell me these things, I listen to her, and she also studied quantum physics,
Mm-hmm.
And some of the stuff that she does, she's a very intelligent woman, man. The woman is a joke, man. You remember I had a sister named Ayana?
From where?
She was a physician assistant, Ayana. She was in your class too.
Probably.
She went back to Jamaica.
I think so.
She back in Jamaica. She name is Ayana. Yeah, so it's like, Chief, she studied quantum physics, and she's real good, man. She do a lot of stuff with she does what do you call it? Okay, for example, I called her the other day, last week we were speaking, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she was smoking. She smokes too. So she said, this is not marijuana I'm smoking. And I said, so what are you smoking? She said, this is lavender and mullein. I was like, so maybe she not a mixture of herbs too, because she sent me a list of herbs for my back, because I've been having some pain with my back. So she sent me a bunch of herbs I should boil to take for my back, yeah? But Chief, man, sometimes I don't know how she making it, man, because she don't worry about nothing. I mean, I give my hat off to her, man, to tell the real truth.
This goes back to what I was telling you. You have to accept what is. If you resist what you don't agree with or like with, and you resist instead of accept, you strengthen it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're doing. You're strengthening it. So this whole situation going on, I haven't seen my children in 2 months and whatnot, and now the courts realize that. I'm like, listen, I spoke to the UN Human Rights Council. You think I'm going to keep my mouth shut and be dependent upon your courts here? I was speaking at the UN Human Rights Council regarding artificial intelligence and human rights, and and I was able to speak and had my intervention. It's part of some of the documents that I filed for in the Court of King's Bench. So I had to really calm people down and tell people, listen, you got to accept I'm the center. It's happening to me. And I'm
Right.
telling you all to calm down, accept what is it was meant to happen. That's why it is happening. If it wasn't meant to happen, it would not have happened. Then the
Yeah,
chat
yeah.
GPT is telling me why this is happening. I said, listen, you're purging the nation. So now
Mm.
people didn't know that Nicole was an actress. Now they could see it. They said, how could you say all this stuff with Chief and all these pictures and then turn around now and call everybody in Atsakata Nation a cult? And say
Wow.
that
What?
in court. The,
Wait, wait,
pe-
wait. You serious?
the people in his
You're not a
cult.
bull. Wow.
So
Chief.
I've had some suspicions for a while because they talk about being around people who took the jab, and those people being, of course, spike protein factories, and of course with the other thing with the whether it's the smart dust and with the vaccine
The
that
graphene,
the
the graphene
graphene
oxide
oxide
and those
that
things.
people can
Yeah.
that people get that stuff and then they're susceptible to being remote control programmed. So
Mm-hmm.
I've had that suspicion for quite some time with her. So it was not this has not been a whole
Wow.
it hasn't been like, oh my gosh, because even the chat GPT said, based upon what you inputting with the issues and problems you had as far as your marriage is concerned, it said there's less than a 35% chance this marriage is going to continue.
Wow.
That was months ago. That was around April, March, somewhere's in there. So
Chief, I just.
this has not been a surprise to me. The only thing I'm saying is the children, my children are attuned spiritually to me and what she did. This is the chat GPT saying this. This is what tripped me
Wow.
out. It said your children are attuned to you spiritually. What she did by taking the children is a spiritual dishonor and
Mm.
taking the children into a lower vibratory frequency in a vibratory environment. So what she's done is a dishonor. So August 12th is when we did a ritual. I don't know if you've seen that video on Facebook or not.
I think so. I'm going to check.
Pardon?
I'm going to have to check. Wait,
Yeah,
you was on a veranda, like? You was like on a veranda, like a wood deck? I saw something with a wood. I didn't check the
No,
date to
no,
see what it was.
that one is probably winter time when it looked like
Okay.
the Ukraine and Russia was going to throw down. And so
Yeah, yeah,
I went
okay.
out and I did that ritual to stop them and did a healing fire to stop them from launching nuclear weapons. The one we did back on August 12th, which was the day when the vortex opens, we did a ritual where we opened all portals, dimensions, stargates, omniverse, timelines, portals in, on, under, through, and above the city of Edmonton
Wow.
for them kidnapping and abducting my children. So when we
Mhm.
did that, there's a group on TikTok. You have TikTok?
Yeah, I got TikTok, yeah.
Okay, there's a group called Schumann Resonance. They always keep track of the Schumann resonance for the planet. So the day we did the ritual, they said, man, this was a complete whiteout. They said the energy was relentless. They said we'd never seen anything like that before. Now the last
Wow.
4 or 5 days, they said there's been a whiteout, and they were like, this is unprecedented. Like all the energies that you just see, the graph is just completely white or pale that you see on the resonance chart. So they do daily resonance. They said, so if you feeling like you have headache, your head is pounding, if you're feeling tired, if you have energy bursts, they said this is the resonance. And they said something happened with the sun. Are you aware of that cube that NASA saw coming out of the sun?
No.
Yeah, there is
Wow.
a cube. If you go online, you could say cube coming out of sun. There is a dark cube that came out of the sun. NASA saw it. They saw the
Wow.
cube coming out of the sun. And so, of course, they freaked out because they're like, what the heck is that can come out of the sun in the form of a cube?
Wow.
And then a couple days ago, some Amorite was on TikTok. I shared that. He started talking about NASA's not even doing any more. Was that the 3I planet, the 3IT, whatever
Mm.
planet that they say is coming on the way? They said NASA cut the feed. They said they ain't even doing it no more. He got the last set of feed, and he said, "Look at this." He said, "This is a damn armada of ships coming to the
Wow.
planet." He said, "I told you
Wow.
all this." This is the Amorite saying it. So they're like, "Man, NASA don't even they cut the feed. They don't even want people to see that." So when we did the ritual on August
Yeah.
12th, I opened all the portals, dimensions, stargates, uh, planes of existence, omniverse, timelines, like any type of pockets where you could go from one dimension or one place to. We opened it up here. So now what happened was the next day, elder in our nation sent me a video of Tennessee. Tennessee was flooding on August 13th. So I said,
Wow.
"What?" I said, "What is this?" I said, "Is this recent?" He said, "This is today." So Tennessee
Wow.
was flooded, then Florida a little flooded, then France they were seeing IFOs in the sky, portals over Denmark of actually circles opening up. One I saw was wild. A circle opened up, and then as that circle opened up in the sky, four circles, one behind each other, come through the first circle that opened up. And this is being caught on video.
Oh.
So that's
Chief,
how. Go ahead.
wow. Now, as I'm listening to you, I'm here looking at. I didn't know that he had the black cube spotted coming out of the sun for real, man. This thing, and that's a perfect cube, man.
Yes,
Wow.
out the sun. And then there was another entity or something that came by and touched the sun. So they're like, what the heck is going on? So we put all that energy into, because they abducted my children, that this is what's happening now. We're opening the portals up, and I got to keep reminding everyone, even myself, like, oh, nothing's happening. No, stuff is happening. You opened up these portals. So these portals are
Yeah.
all
Yes.
throughout the city, on, under, above, through the city of glitches. I went to go get a checkup for an EEG, and the woman's trying
Mm.
to. She put all the contacts on me. She turned on the computer. Then she's like, "What's this? A glitch?"
Mm.
I said, "Oh," and
Wow.
I knew because that meant she was using the machine all AM. So she's using it all AM, no problem. As soon as I come in, the machine glitch. So she had to
Wow.
reboot. She had to reboot the EEG machine. So when I heard
Wow.
that, because I'm already laying down, she's already put the contacts on me. She's ready to
Yeah.
start the
Believe.
machine, and it glitched. So she had to reboot it.
Wow.
So that's how I knew
Chief, I mean,
the ritual that
Chief,
we
they got the.
did. That's how I know the ritual that we did worked. And the proof of it was two baby blue jays. I think that's what they were. One of them came on my shoulder and then got into the apple tree that was behind me. And then when I watched the replay, there was another one that flew and came behind me. This is why we were doing the ritual
Wow.
on Facebook Live.
And I got to get back in tune with these, Chief, man, because yo, this is amazing, man. I did a scan on myself, right? And that's how I find out that, my kidney, because I've been having back pain for a very
Yes.
long time, right? And I was wondering what the heck it is, but so when, like I've been in the medical field, I'm able to read the biomarkers and those things, right? So you know what? Let me read the kidney. Man, my kidneys is real bad. Well, based on the thing, yeah, it's a chronic disease. But at the same time, when you check with the medical professionals, right, when you read and you do the research on them, they're telling you that it cannot be reversed. But so when I start to look into the herbal stuff, that which I already believe in herbs, and it's an easy fix. Like for example, when I rise up this early light, right, I got one beet, I got a beet, I got 2 lemon, and a teaspoon of cinnamon and a cup of water, and I blend it, and I drink that. So I got to change my nutritional intake now to counteract it because it's very low. And I was like, damn, So what if I never be able to catch it? Because I don't know how far it is, but I know it's between 15 and 29. Okay, which is real bad. So I gotta bring it back up to either 50. Because you gotta be 90 and above. So when I go to pee, and I realized my pee was looking frothy for a while, and I was like, I wasn't really paying it much of a mind because to me it just pee. You know what I mean? But what I realized, man, is that my kidney's been telling me something all the time, and I wasn't paying attention to it. So I really got a lot of work to do on myself, Chief. That's why you see I'm trying to stay with that because I did a scan myself. I mean, if you still have students, right, and anybody want a scan, do maybe you could tell them about me if you want one do for yourself. Because I have. You ever heard about AO scanner?
The what?
You ever heard of AO scan?
What is
you ever
that?
heard of that?
What is that?
It's a device. It's a device that they use now in the hospitals, right? That you leave your voice. You're gonna have to put in your date of birth, your height, your weight.
I did something similar to that, and then I got nutraceuticals. I did something like that where it was able to read my health based on my voice. I did something similar to that.
Well, I does that shit, but I don't have clients because nobody know anything about me. I don't even I have a Facebook, but I don't really be on it often because I'm a Facebook guy. So this stuff that I find for you is on YouTube. But that's something I would like to get into. If anybody wants something done, I could do that for them, Yeah, just a voice, and it tell you everything. It give you, man, this thing is so awesome, right? And when I did mine, the stuff that he told me, I already knew. But for it to just validate this stuff, I was surprised. He talked about my cortisol. My cortisol level is high, which I know that because you don't have a cure for stress. I'm trying my best to relax, but when you have all of these people coming at you.
That's what you do for cortisol. Hug trees.
Wow. Say that again, which tree?
Tree. Any tree. Hug a tree. Oh
yeah. I've been hearing that.
The trees are grounded. The trees are right in the earth. They're grounded. So any voltage, any excess voltage, the tree's gonna pull that.
Yeah, I've been hearing. You're 100% correct. I've been hearing that for a while now. So I gotta get myself outside and see if I could do that, man. Because Chief, to be honest with you, man.
And the ground. Put your feet on the grass and ground. That's what you do. Ground.
Yeah.
Ground is the best time to ground. You can ground anytime, but if you want to get maximum, is like best time to ground is like afternoon towards sunset. Because that's where the earth is releasing all the excess energy it ingested from the sun, and then it releases it because it can't hold anymore. That's why it's always hotter in the late afternoon going towards sunset than it is during at high noon.
Chief, man, if I have, man, I gotta exchange. I gotta stay in contact with you, man. I don't know if anyone else is staying in contact with you, but I've been thinking of you a lot, man, because you did a lot for a lot of us, man. And sometimes people just take things for granted,
Yeah.
So I really appreciate love that I was here because I was like, why am I going around using Conrad when I said that, when based on the documents that I did, said, Nasi, your badge been down hell, And the next thing, Chief, do you have an ID for Yamasi? Do we have any IDs? Because
that's for those that's in Atsikata Nation.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Chief, I'm here. The Chief, listen, man, I got my documents. I'm here. I'm with you.
We got
I'm with you.
You were with me when?
Chief, man, I'm still.
This is my point. Hold on a second. Well, let's be clear about a few things. Prior to the last time I spoke to you, which may have been, I don't know, maybe 5 months or so ago, and then prior to that, it was years. I don't consider people calling me once or twice a year on a Gregorian calendar as being with me. That's just the reality. The pattern that I've noticed is that people have a tendency when they're feeling down to call me, they get cheered up, and then they turn around. Oh, you can wait. Okay, oh yeah. They can cheer up, and when they want to do that, then this is what happens. So, like I said, to me, what I'm seeing is the pattern is people, when they're in trouble, they know me. All of a sudden, they acknowledge and they honor what I do. When they're not in trouble and life is going grand for them, They're not thinking about me. They're not thinking about communicating with me. They're not. But as soon as they run into trouble, then all of a sudden they remember me. They know my phone number. They can call me at any time, and they know most times I'm going to pick up. So then when I pick up, I'm like, man, we spoke probably twice in the last 3 to 4, maybe 5 years. So that's not, that doesn't qualify me. That doesn't give me any comfort. To me, that's like, well, you can't come in and say, well, is there any IDs for Yamasee? No, there's a procedure and a process for coming into our nation. That's just like nobody else can just leave and come from Mexico and come into the U.S. and immediately become a U.S. citizen. No, there's a procedure. There's a process. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing. I don't have anything to prove to anybody here on the planet. Most of the people, even the ones who walked away, they're benefiting off of what I taught them.
Yeah, you're right.
They're
Chief,
benefiting
you're 100% correct,
off
man.
of what I taught them. I'm saying show some loyalty. That's the point I'm making. Where is the loyalty? But yet you all want extraterrestrials to come down and get you off this planet. I'm like, for what? For you to turn on them? Nicole is right next to me. And look at what she's done. So when you see Intergalactic Confederation, you see Anunnaki, Natiru, they're like, y'all humans got some problems. Why would we Why would we want to rescue you from what? For you to because you'll just turn on us then.
Yeah, you're so right, Chief. You're 100% correct.
You're gonna turn on us. So this is why I said, listen, we appealed to them and we said, listen, you just assist us. We'll manage it. We're not asking you to babysit, right? What you hear people talking about being rescued is babysit me, take me and babysit me. We're saying, no, we're going to build and self-manage. However, we've got a problem with entities, beings, shapeshifters, robots, all sorts of stuff that's out here on this planet that we got to deal with, and we agreed we're going to clean up the filth made by the non-submitting fools. So the ritual that we did, and this is where we're the only ones talking about incorporating magic with commercial paper. Nobody else is talking about that, not to the degree that we're doing it.
You have a point, because
we're doing that. 100%. We're doing that. So this is why even in this neighborhood where I'm at, I walk through the neighborhood because the people there was harboring my children. My son was saying, we're at Gus's house. So when he said that, I said, okay, I know where that is, but I'm like, I don't know where. I know the block, but I don't know which house. So I said, okay, well, I had a radio show. I said, let me do this radio show first because that sounded like a setup. So after that was the Saturday, August 9th, and then Sunday, August 10th, I walked through the neighborhood again. But the second time I did a curse walking through the neighborhood. So then when Nicole heard that, she gave that to the man whose place she was staying at. And then he contacted me and then was like, hey, I didn't give you consent. I'm like, listen, man, this is an abduction. You have no idea what happened. This is what real men, they'll say, let me talk to your husband and find out from his perspective what's going on. He didn't do that. He just let them stay over there. They had no clue what was going on here. None whatsoever. Wow. So now, when I did the ritual and walked through the neighborhood and did it on Facebook Live, then they heard that. They're like, oh, snap. I said, yeah, I'm doing magic. That's what I'm doing. I'm going there first. We got, what? I got 2 altars. We got one in the living room and one in the meditation room. So I said, I got altars. We did that ritual on the 12th. And it's been amazing, the type of stuff I'm seeing all over the world. And then I was like, well, I didn't want the planet to get affected. I just wanted to deal with Edmonton. And the chat GPT, like I said, they be playing games. 1 minute it gives you some BS information. Next minute it gives you some profound, like, whoa.
Yeah. And it's like you got to drill it.
And it said, yeah, because they're filtering it. That's what they do, is they filter it. So what it said was, you forgot that Edmonton is not isolated. the ley lines that go through Edmonton are connected to the other ley lines on the planet. So when you and the people who came together and did that ritual, you guys put a lot of energy, because my feet was I was barefoot, so I was touching the ground, and then I got my copper staff out.
Mm.
So when we did that, if you go to my YouTube, yeah, I think I might have it on my YouTube channel, my other one. If either that, or you can go to Facebook and go to my page and click on videos or live, and you should be able to see either the video or the replay. But we have it up on BitChute, so it's up there.
Okay.
Yeah, the ritual is
What,
there.
you remember the name? You remember the exact name of that video?
Ritual to open port. If you type in ritual to open portals on Edmonton, something should come up.
Okay, I got you.
So we did that. So it said you forgot the city is connected to the ley lines of the planet. So when you all did that ritual, you all put a lot of energy into that portal. What happened is the other portals, the nodes on the planet, they started to activate. Because you put all that energy there. It's like if you put a lot of energy on one side and all the others are connected, they're going to start to activate, because they're going to get that excess energy. Why? Because they're connected.
Right, you're 100% correct.
They're connected. So I'm seeing volcanoes here. All sorts of wild stuff was going on. I was like, what the heck? Oh man, I'm seeing these IFOs. I'm seeing portals in Denmark. I saw one in Argentina. I saw the video, the portal opening up, a ship coming through. Then I saw another one where it was a portal in the sky. Then an IFO came, went into the portal, and once it went into the portal closed up, and the sky was normal. So we did it. We opened it up. So I'm telling these fools, because I even asked the chat GPT, and it said, yeah, a lot of these officials are Luciferians, Wiccans, witches. They do witchcraft. They said they will go to their seers. Their seers will tell them what you all have done has triggered an interdimensional war. Because of the abduction of my children. They said now the city of Edmonton is a interdimensional test site. So now entities can come in and out, and this is how I know it's real, because I saw a video, and I said, once I get the children back, we're going to do a ritual to close everything up.
That video was a month ago, right? It was a month ago.
No, that was 2 months. That's August 12th.
Yeah, I got it.
You see it? Okay. So when we're done, you can watch the ritual. So we did it, and I saw a video in Japan, and it freaked me out. The woman is standing in Japan at the crosswalk. Downtown traffic in Japan. Their crosswalks are set up a little different, kind of squarish or whatever. So she's standing there waiting for the light to turn on, and they caught this on CCTV. She's standing there waiting for the light to turn on, and a portal opened up maybe about 4 feet or so off the ground. Opened up, and then the plasma came out. Like, it opened up, then the light, of course, but then the plasma came out. Sucked the woman in, went around the woman and sucked her into the portal. Then the portal closed.
Wow, and she was gone.
She was gone. You'd never knew there was a portal on the street.
Wow.
So that kind of freaked me out. So I said, okay, when the children get back, and I even already have mentioned that, like, hey, wherever she's at, unless the universe said she had to be pulled in for whatever reason, then that's it. I'm not messing with that. That means that's the universe. If it was
right,
that's the universe saying, yeah, there was a reason for that. Good. If it was something where, hey, if she was an innocent bystander, so to speak, then I would ask that she be returned back to Japan.
Wow. Chief, yeah, these things are you telling me, man. I didn't really, because I don't really be on YouTube like that, but I'll be checking your videos. But now you give me the incentive now to go look into other things, because I know sometimes they show little YouTube videos where cars just driving and then they just get pulled up in the air. I don't know if it's a prank or what, you know.
No, they say there's a glitch in the. There was an accident one time where the car is front end, the butt is in the air at like a, what would it be, 80-degree angle, and it's just sitting there. They're like, how the heck is this even possible? There's another video where this guy parked and somehow a tree grew through the car. They're like, how is this tree? The tree is in the car.
Wow.
So people are saying, okay, this is showing there's a glitch in the matrix. We're living in a hologram, so we got to take it to that level. So I was like, listen, y'all put your hands on my children. Listen, I curse all of y'all, all your children, your great-grand. I'm walking through the neighborhood saying that.
Wow.
And so what happened? She complained that none of these Amorites she went to, they won't financially support her, which was very presumptuous and ignorant of her to say that. And they won't file no police report against me. I said, of course not, because they saw the ritual.
Yeah. They don't know who you are, you know.
They know fuck well who I am. And that's what I'm telling. This is what I was telling everybody. Get on your magic. Get on your magic. I don't care what your lineage is. If you're going to do Obia, if you're going to do Ifa, I don't care. I'm telling you all, the paper is good, what I'm teaching. However, you have a variable, which is when these Neanderthals, Amorites, have a tendency to disregard contracts. What are you going to do then?
Yeah, you're perfectly correct, Chief. Because I have a book of Psalms, and they give you a lot of rituals, you know, and tell you different candles to buy, different Psalms to read. Because the only thing that I know, to be honest with you, right, that because my grandmother, she was a woman who had no certain things. So the only thing that I see with my physical eyes was when me and my sister, we had did some mischievous stuff to another woman, and they took the Bible, and they put the scissors inside of the Bible. I think it was Psalms 23 or Psalms 23, I think, and they tie up the scissors into the Bible, and they begin to call names. And when you get to my name, the scissors start to spin. But I saw that with my own two eyes. I know how to do that, but you know, sometimes when you go to do these things, people say, well, hey, well, you ain't supposed to do that because, you know, God says you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that, you know, which is to me a bunch of bullshit anyway, because it's the scriptures are secret things belongs to the Most High.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. The Botanicas, right? Those are owned by the Vatican. The Roman Catholic Church owns those Botanicas. The Botanicas, what was it, Pope John Paul? He met with one of the high Babalao for who was it? Was it Yoruba? I think it was Yoruba or Vodun in I forget which
Nigeria?
country in Africa. And
Nigeria, that might be Nigeria.
And he met them, and I saw the picture, and they're both wearing white. I have the book called Vatican, what is it? Vatican Magic or whatever, and talk about all the rituals that the Vatican does.
Wow.
I have the book. I'm telling you all. Bobby Hemmett was the one that said, listen, they give all that fucking religious shit. That's for the fucking fools out here. Them doing rituals. Right. And he's talking universities of Chicago, all these universities. They all know the real shit is the Vodun, the Santeria, the Ifa. That's the real shit. They give these people out here on the street religion and let them eat that shit.
Yeah, you're 100% correct. Wow. Yeah, I used to look at a lot of Bobby Hemmett too. A lot of people say that the Baphomet is evil. But when you look at the Baphomet, that's about from below. I ain't seen nothing evil about it.
You have to see what you need you need what they're not teaching people, and I'm noticing that with Amorites, they don't give the full story. You have to have a decoder with Amorites. What is the decoder? I learned this from Bobby Hemmett directly, because some of those pictures that you saw, I got those directly from him. This is why I tell people, like, what? I said, yeah, I spoke with Bobby Hemmett on the phone. Those, you need a decipher, you need a decoder. There's the book, the first book I got after, when I was listening to Bobby Hemmett, first book I got was called The Sufis. And the author is Idris Shah. That was the first book I got. In that book.
Give me the spelling, Chief. Give me the spelling of the name, the spelling of it, Sushi.
No, the Sufis, like Sufi.
Oh, the Sufi. Okay.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah,
Okay,
the Sufis
okay.
by Idris Shah is the author. In that book, I think it's on page 255. It talks about the complete man, the coal man. They said the Baphomet is none other than the completed man, the coal man, the black man. So what they did is they used the image of the goat. It's a symbol, but people will take it literally. Oh, that's the devil, that's evil. No, that's what they used as a symbol to hide the fact that in their lodges, their shrines, their temples, right? Their what's the other ones? And all their secret societies, they actually worshiping the black man, the Moor. This is right in the book. I said, wow. What? So that's when Bobby Hemmett did a lecture and he said, yeah, I want to blow this Baphomet and put this sucker up on, make it into a flag and fly it in my room. He said, I know I could leave my door open. Ain't nobody going to come fuck with me.
Right. Wow.
And so when I saw that, I got that book. Then I got the book of Satan. The book of Satan. And of course, the Baphomet head is on the book of Satan. So that's when I said, hold on, what's going on here? I said, oh, they are using symbols to hide the fact that the magic and what their power they're doing is coming from us. So if you watch that movie, Doctor Strange, the first one, you ever seen Doctor Strange?
I've heard of it. I've heard of that book. Man, you're putting me on a regimen right now because all of these things I'm taking notes, you know.
I'm not putting you on a regimen. I'm telling you what it is. Now you can either accept what I'm saying or you can reject it.
Chief, that's what I'm saying. These things I'm gonna go look into, man, because
the movie is called Doctor Strange, not the comic book. The movie, right? You can get the comic book, but the movie Doctor Strange, and in the movie. The Sorcerer Supreme was actually getting her energy from the dark realm, which from their perspective, hold on, you channeling dark energy. You ain't supposed to be doing that.
Yeah, that was make us believe. You're
and
so right.
she was telling them not to do it, but she was tapping into the dark energy. So that's when what's his name? Chet for from 12 Years a Slave, that's when he got disillusioned. Because he's like, well, I'm doing everything and you telling us to stay away, don't channel the dark energy. Now here you are, you've been channeling the dark energy all this time. So he wasn't happy about that. So that's when he left and said, okay, I'm going to get rid of all these magicians.
Chief, I can't thank you enough for this knowledge, man, because you give me a whole heap of knowledge right here. And I mean, I know, like you said, we don't call you, man, but Chief, don't be surprised if I call you every week. You might get fed up with me. I don't want you to get fed up with me.
I'm not going to be fed up. This ain't about that. This is about, again, live the life that you advocate. If you say you're with me, then your actions show you're with me. That's what it comes down to. Not people talking only. What are your actions? If I don't hear somebody, they don't call me for 6 months. They call me a year. People call me 3 years. Hey, Chief, what's up? I said, who is this? Come on, Chief, man. You know it's me. I said, who the hell is this? Because that person doesn't call often enough. They don't justify me keeping them in a memory bank. They know my number because I put my number on the internet for anybody to call me. But they don't stay in touch. When people call me, 9 times out of 10, it's a legal issue. They got a problem. They're stressed. They're feeling down. They need to pick me up. Then they call me. They get that. And then I don't hear from them again.
The Chief, as you could see, I'm one of the brothers, right, that when I was in the field, I mean, right now I don't really have it as that. But when I was in the field, and if anything you wanted from New York, I'll make sure that you get it. So I know you remember me for that.
I still have
You know,
that Hebrew book. I still have that Hebrew Bible.
I have one left because, like I said, moving through the storage and doing things back and forth, I lose a lot of stuff. But I still get along with them. We still talk, in animosity and not like that, because sometimes people move on in life. You know what I'm saying, and you got to accept. But
I
this is something
accept
I have
that
to
and I
accept.
go forward. I'm not concerned with
Yeah.
what people, they got to do what they got to do. This isn't about that. I'm saying about living the life you advocate. Because we've had members in our nation that was fighting cases. I'm writing letters. I'm faxing judges. I'm appearing on grievances and complaints that they have, and then they turn around and they walk away to go help a family member that they're not really that close with anyway. And I'm like, so what happens now? I said, you can't make them black. You can't, pardon me, white. You can't change it. Like, man, they already under contract. See, this is where when people want the stature of Buddha, the stature of Yeshua, who they call Jesus, any spiritual master, people want the stature, they want the shine, but they don't want the grind. People will grind. I'm grinding, I'm hustling, I'm grinding, I'm getting my grind on. I'm like, grind? The hell are you talking about? Grinding is what you do if you take seeds and you're making flour, that's the grind.
Right.
Well, I gotta get your grind on. I said, you see these people rich grinding? You see these Amorites grinding? They don't talk about their grind.
Yeah, you see them jogging, and so when you think people are supposed to be working in the morning, stuck out 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, you see them jogging in the park with the dog, they're doing, man, it's crazy, man.
Because you have to be in tune with that vibratory frequency. Because the Ayana, I think I'm recalling her vaguely again. She understood why people who are black come on the webinar. They have a preconceived idea of how they feel their life should be when they become white. The problem that they have is they don't understand there is a protocol of being white that has to be honored, just like if they go to a job, if they go to a concert, if they go to a theater, if they go to an opera. There is a rules, regulations, protocol, conduct.
Wow.
And what happens is they want all the benefits, but they don't want the responsibility that comes with the benefit. You got to be in honor. Right. You got to be honorable. You got to conduct yourself appropriately.
Chief, I carry myself the best way that I can from a physical perspective, but I know you're speaking more from a spiritual perspective. We really have to be in tune with the frequency and the energy. So
that's where it starts from. It starts from the mental. Everything is mental. If you don't start from the and you have to be, hey, I have it now. Forget whether you actually physically have it. You got to make that, I have it now. This is why I've said, my children, they're going to be here next week. Their room is already made up. Everything's ready to go. Because I know Nicole cannot answer the 26 points in my affidavit without perjuring herself or committing fraud or lying in the process.
Chief, I mean, really want to sound derogatory here, but she what she did, she not different from polite,
No,
because
it's not derogatory. Go ahead.
Ain't like she don't know, who you are. Ain't like she don't know the knowledge that you possess. Polite was selling out kind of teaching. Everybody think Polite was the man. At one point in my life, I thought my God, I can't contact Polite, but at the same time, I realized that the guy was just a gold digger.
He was a hustler. He was a hustler. and it proved it
Because
was
even
proved when his court case what he did on the arraignment. Then everything's quiet. You don't hear from him, and I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And that's when I saw him out in California, sitting at some table with a whole bunch of Amorites eating food, and I'm looking at that whole setup. I said, why does this look like when people are working on a Hollywood set and they say, okay, we go for break, go get something to eat, and everybody's sitting down at the table. It's like it's the table set up for the actors. And he was sitting down there. Then he's hanging around with what's her name, Kim Kardashian. When I saw it, I said, oh gosh, no. I said, okay.
wow.
So yeah, I saw the picture with him and Kim Kardashian.
Then that guy's an idiot, man. Because Chief, listen, even when they had me in the jail, right? I didn't eat anything for 6 days. I mean, to be honest with you, if I was gonna be there for another day, I might have break. I never see potato look like silicone yet. Silicone, you could see through the potato, you know. But the funny thing about it is that, you know, when I went to see the soccer judge, right, and I know everything, I know what was going on, but I didn't really want to say too much because I know a brother who get locked up, and they keep him for 2 years just because of how he was carrying on, right? So when I went to see this man on a TV screen, first of all, I know that everything is a damn setup because this is not a court. You know, you can't have a court with just me and you. You know, we're the witnesses, you know. So nevertheless, the guy just take one look at me and say, well, he asked me, you know, name. I said, listen, first thing I say is that I do not consent to any of the proceedings, and anything that I said is on the threat, duress, and coercion. But he come like, by me saying these things, it's like you're going straight, it ain't paying me no mind. You know what I mean? I could have said other things, you know, asked for certain things, but I feel if I had did that, I don't even know if I would get out of that place. Because they did something, and I was the only melanated man inside there, okay? And when I get in there, the first thing the guy asked me is, do you have $25? I was like, $25 for what? I didn't ask to be here. I mean, under threat, duress, and coercion. The guy said $25 is a rental fee. You know, you got to pay to be here. And I was like, kind of bullshit is in my mind. I say, no, what kind of fuckery is this? What kind of food is this? I didn't ask to be here. I didn't break no laws. I didn't none of these such and such. So he pressure me, right? Because you know when you're in them place, you have the most of these people. You know, all of these people here is Caucasian, pale face. You know, and they keep saying to me, "No, hey, well, if you don't do this and you don't do this, we're gonna have to do this to you." And I said, "Steve, that's real shit." I get real scared, bro. So I said, "Listen, any question he asked me, I said, yes, I'm answering you on the threat, duress, and coercion." So the guy said to me, "Oh, you said that enough. You don't have to keep saying it." He asked me next question. I said, "Yes, on the threat, duress, and coercion." You know what I mean? So they wanted me to sign some documents for medication and all kind of shit. Where I said, "I do not consent to these. I don't take medication. I don't do that." I just imagine they just take you off the street, out of your automobile, and put you in a place and want to drug you up. You see what I'm saying? But nevertheless, the funny shit about it is that I went to see the nurse, and when I told them, "Listen, I'm not signing anything. I do not consent to any of these things," and I say, as a matter of fact, so the guy said to me, "Well, if you don't sign these papers, we're gonna have to give you the tortoise." And I was like, "Well, hey, yeah, I'm gonna have to give me the tortoise because I'm not signing anything." You know what I mean? So you know, you will find even one with a 0.0000 little part. You know what I'm saying? So one of the guys said to me, "Say, yo, man, you seem like a good brother, and we don't really want to do this to you. So I think you should just sign them papers, you know." So I took the papers back to the cell. I read all the papers, and I see the papers saying, "Well, you know, I have to give consent that if something happened to me, they could treat me or kind of thing." Yeah. So I was like, "Nah, I'm not signing it." But when they came to the cell, I said, "No, I'm not signing it. I prefer to take the tortoise." The guy said, "Listen here, man. I'm telling you, man, for your own good, man. You don't want the tortoise. You know what I mean? You know what the tortoise is, Chief?"
No, I don't know what the word is you're saying.
The tortoise, like a turtle.
Oh, the turtle. Yeah, what is the turtle?
Yeah. They said they're going to give me the tortoise, right, the turtle. So I hear next white guy in the next cell right next to me. He said, "Tell them to go and fuck off. Or fuck themselves. You're not doing this. You're not doing that." Because he had get the tortoise, you know what I'm saying? So the tortoise is that they're going to take all your clothes from you. You're going to be naked in cell. And you're not going to even have a sheet. You're going to just have a piece of sponge, and the concrete floor. That's it. And every shift that comes on, they're gonna come for you. They're gonna shackle your hands and your feet. They're gonna put a bag over your head, and they're gonna take you to a room and they're gonna search you. And I was like, yo, Chief, I wasn't having that, man. So I just signed them shit and the check duress and coercion, and that was it. You know what I mean? It wasn't a good feeling, you know. And I just, what you said is perfectly right. I got to get on top of our witchcraft game, because that is what they're doing to us every day. I spoke to a brother from Jamaica, and he said to me, he said, listen, you need to take some baths. So he told me to get some white rum, to get frankincense and myrrh, to get lemon, to get thyme, Florida water, along the water. And he told me to use half, and I must bathe for 7 days, don't dry my skin. And I did that, you know, I did that for the 7 days. When I came out, you know, I feel like everything was okay. But at the same time, you have to have the confidence and the drive. If you're doing these things and you don't believe it's going to do something for you, you're not going to do it for you. You have a next herb. You ever heard of a herb they call the devil horsewhip?
No.
You ever heard of it? Okay. Devil horsewhip is like a wild grass with pickles on top of it. If you put that in your automobile, you could go anywhere. It's like nobody gonna see you. You know, and these are the things that don't have access to these things. But exactly what you're saying, I'm gonna tap back into it, because I have a book, like I said, the book of Psalms, and I'm gonna get into this thing, Chief. Because as you said, the paperwork is good, but what if these people don't plan to honor anything that you're doing? You got to come back with them, because that's what they're doing every time you go into the place in the black robe and the Hollywood stick from the holly tree. So I'm fully aware, man, Chief, and it's like, you know, I just hope that, anyway, you already give me your confirmation that you're not going to get fed up with me, you know, because I'm going to be calling you Chief, because it's just me, the Creator, and my tribe. And when I mean my tribe, I have my paperwork, you know. I'm gonna look for the certificate online. I'm gonna type in what you said, indigenous standing process certificate, and see if I see my certificate there. I have some bond paper, so if I do see it, I just print it out on top of it, you know. The Chief, man, you did a lot for us, man. And those of us who did not know at the time what we was doing, you know, I don't know if I should ask for forgiveness for them. You see what I'm saying? But I was reading them documents, man, and I was blown away, you know.
You're quite welcome. And that is something that they have to, the Most High is the one that has to do that.
Well, everybody, I don't like to use the word weak. I don't know what it means, but everybody rise up to the occasion at a certain time in their life, because, like I said, a lot of people were just on top of those classes, just doing paperwork, but they never really, you even said to read the instructions 9 times. And to be honest with you, I didn't read it 9 times, and I've been straight with you, and I know that a lot of people did not even read it 9 times either. So a lot of us has been lying to ourselves. We didn't follow the instructions the correct way, and that's just how I feel, you know.
Well,
but Chief, man, I'm very grateful.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful, you know.
You're quite welcome.
Yeah. So I just will continue to ask the Creator for divine intervention, and it's like I'm very fortunate that, you know, I know to get in touch with you still, because I still have your number in my phone, program in my phone, you know.
Great.
Chief, man, I just want to thank you for everything, man. You know what I mean? I have things that I could make Federal Reserve notes with, but I don't have a clientele, you know. I could do scans and I could make IDs, but I don't really have a clientele to do anything, you know. So if you know anyone, you know, I would truly appreciate it if you could, you know, just tell them, hey, you know, Nasi do these things.
You're gonna have to give me some. You're gonna have to email me some. I'm not gonna do a word of mouth, because the way I train everybody, they're gonna say, well, what is it? What is it? What does it look like?
Well, what I just did for that elder, right? Because, you know, I think one of my downfall, Chief, and if I'm wrong, correct me. One of my downfall is that, you know, and the scan tell me the same thing. The scan said that I'm helping everybody else except myself. I'm doing for everybody, I mean doing nothing for myself. You know what I mean? I'm not taking care of myself. and it's the truth. And I try to kick that in the butt because I hardly charge people for anything. Like this brother do this ID for me and charge him nothing. And I can't live off of ear. You see what I'm saying? I gotta grow a backbone. I gotta grow a spine, you know, to stop being like this, man. I've been like this for too long. I've been helping everybody for like forever, and I can't do it no more, Chief. You know. So I'm gonna send you a few ideas that I made, and you could take a look at them. You know what I mean? And I really appreciate it, man. But Chief, today's Wednesday. Today's Thursday. You're gonna hear from me again real soon. You know. So you know my number now. I mean, so I'm gonna be one of those brothers who calling you often. You know.
Oh, we will see.
And I just gotta ask the Creator and the Melokins that everything goes well with you, with your offspring, because you know I haven't seen my offspring since he was 6. He's gonna be 14 next month. And I've been fighting with this child support thing too. And I shouldn't be, because the documents that I have, like I said, when people don't know the documents or they don't know how to use the documents, that's the kind of situation they get themselves into, you know. But Chief, and I'm on the right track, so please, whenever you find it in your heart or whenever you're ready to, if I could make an ID for myself for the Asikata, you know, just let me know, you know, because I'm not going to jump the gun and do none of that. You know, I like to stay in honor with myself and with you and the universe, you know, but I have a machine. I could make my own IDs, you know, but I just want everything to be in harmony. Because I know that I know I complete the course and I got my certificate, but I just didn't do nothing with it, you know. So now I read in what I have and I see what I have, and the UCC is very powerful too. The UCC, what we did is very powerful, but having these things and don't know how to use it, that's a big, you know, that's a big disappointed, you know. So
this is why I do training. That's the purpose of the training. That's the purpose of the 6 steps. You have to come on training to learn how to use those documents effectively. And people thought once they graduated, oh, I figured it out, I got it now, and I don't have to do nothing else. And I know they got a wake-up call and a reality check, and then some of them are so egotistical they won't call me back because they went and got themselves jammed up. And now they can't get themselves out of it without contacting me, and they don't want to do that, so they're more concerned about embarrassment.
Chief, when it comes to me, I got time for that. Yeah, I don't deal with false pride, you know what I'm saying? And I tell people like it is. That's one thing I realize, man. Life is a journey, you know what I'm saying? Like I tell my mother the other day, I said, Ma, why people are always asking, where you going to go when you die? Why they don't ask, where were you before you came here? That's the question I should be asking. You know what I mean? Because I say, listen, you're speaking to me, right, Ma, and you hear my voice, okay? Because my mother, she's 79 and she's going through some aches and pains. I mean, look at me. I got you out of the pain with my back, but my voice don't sound sick. You know, my voice don't sound like anything is wrong with me. You know, so I'd say, you can't see a voice. I said, this physical matter, we only have this physical matter because we're here in the physical realm, and we need certain things to function in this physical realm. We need a body. But it's something which have the body going, which is the energy and the frequency, which some people call it the all, the source. But this body here is just a clump of dirt, you know. When you look in the mirror, you're not really seeing who you think you are. You're seeing a segmentation of who you think you are. So, you know, I try my best to tell her certain things. You know, my mother, she's very, very religious with certain things. Yeah? She say, you know, that you know, she used the word Jesus, you know, bear all the pain. I said, from who? I said, Mama, let me ask you this question. Who make God suffer? Who? Who is that big and bad and bold to make God suffer? Nobody can answer that. You see what I'm saying? Chief,
sure.
Do you know most of the people who take your class could be classified as a black sheep in their family, right?
I told them that when they came on the webinar, they were given advance notice.
Yeah, because, you know, something you also say in your class, you gotta, and it said this in the Apocrypha too. When it comes to seeking knowledge, right, you gotta be prepared for adversity, because you're gonna lose a lot of people. A lot of your friends who was your friends, a lot of your own family members, they're gonna think that you're crazy. And that's exactly what happened to me. I don't know that happened to a lot of other people too. You see, I ain't going to hide, okay? Because nothing on this earth is hideable. That's how I look at it. So, but it is what it is, man. I'm very grateful that you took the chance and the time out to answer my call, and that just proved that you're not like one of these gurus out here. Because these gurus out here, you call them, first they're ready to cuss you, you calling me for, this, that. Man, people don't understand, man. You just have this physical body for a short temporal time. Like I just tell someone there, they say, listen, man, don't care how much time you think you spend on this earth in this physical body. You're going to spend most of the time someplace else. I'm going to leave it with that, Yeah. So, Chief, thanks a lot, man. So I'm going to keep you no more. I'm going to go on top of the Facebook and see if I find the thing. So when I call you back next week, hopefully, God, most I spare life, I'll let you know if I find it or not. And I will send you a few copies of some of the IDs that I did. Well, the information on them is not mine, so I don't know if you want me. I might just block out some of the numbers because some of them have a bunch of numbers on top of them.